I'm going to take a point of personal privilege and deviate. I want to ask you a question about objectivity because this also came up in a couple of interviews that I read, in which you talked about how no group has a monopoly on objectivity. And there was an op-ed in the Washington Post from my former boss, Marty Barron, this weekend, sort of defending the idea of objectivity. What does it mean to you, given the fact that you do bring your whole self into this job and value the perspectives deeply that you bring, that how has shaped your work? What is objectivity and what does it mean to you?
I think if you ask 10 different journalists to define objectivity, you'd probably get 10 different definitions. I think that's the truth because it's objectivity as defined by whom? For generations, objectivity was defined by the standard bearers in this industry. And those were mostly men, mostly white men, mostly older white men. That is a valid and credible viewpoint, but it is one valid and credible viewpoint. And I think one of the best things about journalism and what we've been able to achieve as an industry is that we have newsrooms that better reflect the public we are meant to be serving every day. And that will only make the work that we do better. So I say unapologetically that I bring my whole self to this work because my whole self is more than just the color of my skin or my faith or where I was raised or the languages I speak or the fact that I'm a Virgo or that I love college basketball or that I love color coding and organizing my file. Like all of these parts of me I bring to my work as well as 20 years of journalism across this entire country, across the planet, talking to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on the ground and producing and reporting thousands of stories. That is my whole self that I bring. And I will argue that any journalist who's come before me, regardless of their background and experience, has done the exact same thing. And what does that do? Well, that informs the kinds of stories that you think are interesting, the kinds of stories you want to pursue, the kinds of questions you think are worth asking, the sorts of people whose voices you think are worth elevating. And I think we've all seen over the generations of change in this industry, those decisions were being made by a very small and very homogenous group of people. Journalism is better today because that's no longer true.